So when we're building these essay sliders, and we already have our fries, we've already identified the prompt, what we're going to write about, we now need to get into really the meat of it. So we're going to jump down to the body paragraphs. So what are the ingredients in each of these sliders? So the body paragraphs, the bun, the part that goes on the top and the bottom of it, we have a topic sentence that tells us what it is about, and then a concluding sentence that is the end, and it goes along with the fries. So we're going to go back to what we had from our prompt, and we're going to repeat that main idea at the end. Today what we're going to focus on is the text evidence, the body, the meat of it. What is this about? So just like when you're ordering a slider, you decide, what do you want first? Do you want a burger? Do you want a chicken slider? Do you want a pulled pork slider? So those things we need to decide, and that is the text evidence. That's the meat of the essay. It's what you're talking about. So this is an example from our article. Delasia says one of the oldest and most revered celebrations takes place at Stonehenge. So that's what we're going to work at in our English notes. So in our English notes, we're going to go to page 16, and we're going to work on adding that text evidence and the topics. So naming what it's about and giving text evidence that matches into our essay. Now, all of this work in our English notes, again, is based on the summer solstice article. Everything you need to know about summer or winter solstice. And the prompt that we're focusing on is analyzing how people celebrate the longest day of the year. So we already highlighted, when we were focusing on the prompt, we already highlighted a number of different things in the article that tell about the longest day of the year and how it's celebrated. So we're going to now pick and choose, because we have way too many things highlighted to write a paragraph about each of them. That would be too much. So instead we need to pick out the best ones, and that is what we're going to put on page 16 to go along with our essay. So the first thing that I want to focus on is saying, how do we celebrate the longest day of the year? So the text evidence that I'm going to use is from that first paragraph. It's the day when the North Pole is most inclined towards the sun, allowing residents of the Northern Hemisphere to enjoy the longest day of the year. So the topic for my first body paragraph is just explaining how the summer solstice is the longest day of the year. So that's one of my paragraphs. Then, in my next paragraph, my text evidence, words that are directly from the text, not my own. One of the oldest and most revered celebration takes place in Stonehenge in Wiltshire, England. And this paragraph is going to focus on the traditional celebrations. And if I pop back to the essay, I can see, so right here, this is what I took. So I only took part of what I had highlighted here. And I'm going to talk about these traditional celebrations of the solstice. So I might bring in some of this other information that's in the green, but I don't need all of that in my text evidence. I can just take this one part, and then in my words describing it over in my analysis, I can go back to it for more, but I have this one little nugget, this one little piece that I can use directly in my essay. So then the last thing that I'm going to do, down from the bottom of the essay at the end, is look at some of the newer celebrations. So Stonehenge has been here forever, and people going there to take part in those traditions, that's been going on forever. But there's newer ways that people are celebrating it too, like listening to 100 bands in a 21-hour day rock band concert. So that's a newer way that people are celebrating the longest day of the year. So in terms of our graphic organizer, taking a look to build these body paragraphs, we need to start with the meat of it. That's our text evidence, words that are directly from the essay. And from that decide, okay, what's this paragraph going to be about? This paragraph is going to be about how it's the longest day. This paragraph, this slider, is about traditional celebrations, and this one is about newer celebrations.